H2k, they were the ones on the blue side. That switches around as the first ban will be Rumble out against Otoame.
So, Rumble is going to be a champion we will see banned very often now. The new buffs to Rylai's and to Leandris are so effective on him. He was already a strong pick before. Now even more. Also, Otoame, we know it's one of his main picks. Kasing, the other one with the Thresh, standard bans so far.
Yeah, super standard bans here. Kasing gets his Thresh turned out, so Godfred loses the Morgana. A couple support bans. This
Give or take.
puts up the market value of an Alistar though. Remember, Sivir is still up, but Giants say, okay, we're gonna get rid of the Sivir, so we might actually see an Alistar first pick from Giants if H2k end up banning out the other tier 1 champion right here in terms of Kalista, but we don't even know how high she ranks anymore in this meta.
And Giants is a team that has left Kalista open and not first picked it because they don't play around Adri, so it's not always they value getting him a pick. I think they were maybe aiming for the Ezreal, but now being banned away from H2k, so Pepineo will not get his hands on that one, which I also think is stronger now, even after the Luna's Echo change with Runeglaive.
If you're Giants here, are you looking for the Alistar?
Alistar or Kalista would be the obvious one, but Ryze is also open for Whirlip up in that top lane, so it depends. Do we want to value Godfred now that he has lost 2 bans, also 2 picks in Thresh and Morgana? I think that's perfectly acceptable. I don't think you need to play around Archery with Kalista first pick.
In my opinion, though, picking Ryze into a team that has been notorious for their lane swaps, okay, maybe the last few weeks not so great, it is still a bold move, and we have to see what it is off.
It is, but Ryze, yes, Rod of Ages lost a bit of HP in the start, but the scaling is just even better now than before. So Ryze is
the new Archangel scales with more mana overall
as well. Like the build that gives the most AP in the late game is going Rod of Ages and then going for the Archangels as the second. Or well, stack it up obviously, and then fully stacked. You get like 800 plus AP with full build. That's going to be
yes. A stacked Rod of Ages, for people not aware, this gives around 100 AP right now. So it's the biggest single AP item outside of this Rabadon's Death Cap active. So definitely big.
One thing we haven't talked about as much when we went into detail on Lulex is the last couple weeks, he has had jungle bans thrown at him for the first time. He'd had to go away from the Gragas Rek'Sai. That's not going to be the case this time. They'll get one either way. They don't have to take it, and the Alistar makes a lot of sense to try and deny it away from Godfred. We'll have to see if Kalista's the choice, though, on top of it.
And I think this is where Giants are asking themselves whether they made a great mistake, because Alistar Kalista, or Kalistar as we call it, is just a really strong bot lane, and Godthred and Audrey rather aren't the most proficient at raw 2v2ing, so they kind of like, either they take the 2v2 and likely lose it, or they have to initiate a lane swap with Ryze themselves. So I feel like they're digging themselves a bit of a grave right here.
Unless they have an answer. I mean, Tristana has been a great pick into Kalista even before the changes coming in here to Kalista now. I haven't seen Adri play it though.
And the matchup is actually very interesting. Jat touched upon this in one of his casts over in NA, but the Tristana-Kalista matchup initially, as we go through these picks, hopefully they pick slow enough so I can tell this story, traditionally was Kalista wins the first 2 auto attacks, then Tristana wins 3 through 6 or 7, and then eventually as you keep fighting longer and longer, Kalista comes out on the top with the massive rend. However, by that time she's usually dead. Because of the nerf on Kalista, Tristana starts winning this matchup earlier, so that could be definitely a pick that we start seeing now and later in the drafts against the Kalista.
Especially also if you want to bait it for a first pick like Ryze. If H2k is saying, hey, you're going to first pick Kalista because it's left open, as we've seen so often. If you start having some of these counter picks ready, now that certain champions are getting nerfed more and more, it's another reason we might see less jungle bans. Because Rek'Sai Gragas has also been toned down over a few patches. You know, more picks become not as strong, but they get closer and closer.
Yes, indeed. So the Giants Gaming locking in their jungler and also that support Nautilus. They're hiding their AD carry for now. They don't need to take it. H2k, however, are going to have to reveal a little bit here. Will they save Ryu's pick for last? That has been mentioned a lot of teams. And the Gragas is a no-brainer with the Rek'Sai off the table for Lulex.
Yeah.
Choices now. What does Otoame go for? His Rumble is gone. And now it looks like the Shen might be the choice.
This is such a heavy kite dive conversation for H2k, the opposite of kiting, obviously. You have the Alistar ulti, Gragas is a big tank to initiate, and of course the Shen ulti coming in. Also fantastic skirmish because you have the Kalista pick. We don't even know what's going to be locked in the mid lane for them, but H2k right now setting up for a lot of map pressure, and if you're stuck under your tower, you're never safe against this comp.
The one issue I could see here is that Ryu likes going for this 5th pick Jace, 5th pick Varus sometimes, you know, to get the poke mid laner in, but if you run that in this composition, you're leaning very heavy towards the AD side of things, so you might actually have to go for an AP mid laner. Now, there may be new possibilities, you know, with the new Leandris, with the new Rylai's Crystal Scepter that we're not aware of. First, we're going to wait for Giants' answer. And they don't have that problem because they have the Ryze in the top lane, and this facilitates or opens up carry, AD carry in the mid lane with some poke of Pepinero.
Not a whole lot of disengage though coming in from Giants.
I don't like
this poke. Like, this is a very, very, very squishy composition if you look at the backline for Giants, and they're not really going to protect each other too well either. On H2K side, you have Alistar, you have Gragas, you have Shen all diving in. What Rio have done in the past is run like an Orianna if you needed a safe mage in the mid lane, put the ball on the Gragas or the Alistar to then try and one-shot one of these squishy targets from Giants, but you might want to run even more engage if you're H2K.
I would actually like a Cardos here. I think that could actually work if you can manage to survive the Jace lane. If you ask Frogan, he says yes.
Of course.
Any other mid laner, maybe not. But the squishy backline in these fights, you know, just one wall into a pylon with the new Rallies on the Cardos. Now it's every Q slows for 40%. Previously, his Q, if he hit one target, obviously counts as a single target spell. If he had multiple, it was AoE. But with the new Rallies Crystal Scepter, it's 40% slow on the one burst AoE hits. So that's big.
Okay, went for a little bit more
Conventional.
assassination potential. No Karthus, sadly, this time around. But it is a bit what we talked about, how H2K could go for even more engage to get to these squishy targets in the backline. I don't feel like Giants will have enough protection, really, to stop Rio if he gets a good start, if you have the Alistar thrown in there, or well, the Shen with the taunt. But at the same time, Giants are running triple threat with so much damage that if one of the carries gets left alone, that can be enough to turn the fight around for Giants.
Yeah, and H2K's extended siege isn't the strongest, so they have to pretty much flip the switch and dive. And this is what they actually used to do at the start of the season, 1-3-1. Oduwamne pushes in his respective lane. Then we have Ryu moving out to the bot lane very quickly as a secondary split pusher, and then they all converge on the middle tower, and they straight up dive. And they have a breakable will. They have a super tanky Gragas that can, for the majority, can stack armor, and they're just trying to assassinate the Ryze. That's one win condition here for H2K.
Well, for H2K, as they look to keep themselves safe in that third place spot. Both coaches shake hands, walk off the stage, get ready to set up for this match. This is going to be a big one, ladies and gents. I think absolutely. Now, with the picks and bans locked in, it's time to see if H2K can defend that spot against Giants Gaming.
I expected them to be like bottom 3 or barely bottom 2 playoffs.
The double kill for Whirlip, and Candy Panda's all by himself. An ace for Giants Gaming.
Nos encantaría ganar a H2K porque nunca hemos ganado en la FS ni en el torneo de expansión.
The change that they made with Godfred, it's kind of like when I joined H2K. They seem more coordinated.
Es un rival que siempre nos ha ganado, iremos como 6-0 perdiendo y ya es hora de ganarles.
And here we are, on to the Rift, H2K versus Giants. If you guys at home want to keep on sending in your predictions about this one, you can always hit us up at LOL Esports is the place, hashtag GIA win or hashtag H2K win. But for now, we're on the start and we see what looks like standard lanes out the gates.
I like how Kasing in the feature is saying he expected Giants to possibly be down the bottom, you know, not close to the playoff at least. And right now, Giants as a team is only 2 wins behind H2K. If they win this matchup, suddenly it gets very, very close between them. And it's just a surprise, but we gotta respect Giants for what they've been doing this split.
Now, what does H2K value more? Their standard lanes and getting Shen ahead as a split pusher, and using obviously the strength of a Kalistar lane, or swapping it up and denying the Ryze? That is a possible question right here.
I feel like if you do standard lanes, you can with your Gragas try and shut down the Ryze and just have the 2v2 lane in that sense. Because Shen also performs so well in standard lanes,
yep.
Not too well in lane swap himself. He's very relying on having a strong mid game where you use that ulti to obviously set up these tower dives and create these numbers advantages around the map.
If they can kill Whirlip and expend his flash, that's big. That's what you want to do. And you can do that because you have Taunt Flash, Body Slam Flash here. Endless possibilities.
And also Ryze with the new Rod of Ages. He lost 150 HP in the early game. That's pretty massive for a guy who needs to scale up anyway. Still strong at all stages. But he is a bit easier to take down if H2K wants to focus it. We have to look for Lulex. We talked about him before. In losses, he's not performing too well for H2K. Now there's a tank with him. There's even potentially 2.5 with the Alistar to help him in these fights, even if they do fall behind.
Yeah, and both of these teams have incredibly quick camp clears if they use the AoE to their advantage on the bot side. Obviously, Kalista Alistar is super quick on the other side. Giants playing a little bit passive. They save more HP doing it this way, but they could have sped that up a little more, so this could actually give the push to H2K if they get the extra creep here. Will be a very interesting bot lane.
Got all the creeps.
They got them all, though. So this is definitely an advantage for Giants. H2k may have missed an extra creep here. So the level 2 will hit on the third range creep here. So one, or the first one already, because they got all the creeps. Normally it's the third range creep.
H2k were the ones who missed one of the melee ones. They have to be a little bit careful now. And already engaging.
Oh, traps hit.
Going in, yeah. Godfrey got knocked back just a little bit, but Yarnan is the one who's being fired down. Another rocket. Fling him on the backside, because Sing will take a little bit of extra damage and they reset back to it. But Giants ahead.
And this is so annoying for bot lanes because H2k finished their camp quicker, but because the RNG kind of played into Giants' favor, Giants still had all those creeps alive. They leveled up on the first range creep. H2k visibly caught off guard here and get pushed into the tower. Now Alistar is to spec defensively, heal, and then pulverize.
Basically just the minions for H2k decided there was one guy they hated on the other side and focused him down first, where Giants were more spread up, trying to spreading the love. Ends up being a bit annoying for H2k, but for now, didn't have to use any summoners. Jungle-wise, Frederick is skipping his blue just to give the Rift Scuttle because we just talked about this. H2k in standard lanes can try and shut down the Rise, so him skipping a buff and getting the Rift Scuttle and trying to look for Lulex is simply to save Whirlip, who's already pushing so hard.
I think it's incredibly smart move here because he can just dedicate himself to the top side of the map, either find Lulex there and contest him in that jungle, or in that fashion just securing easy lane for Whirlip and Pepinero because his bot lane is winning. However, Lulex shows up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What's happening here? Audrey,
Whoa!
are you okay?
I don't think so. That's for
Kaseya splash queued and then simply knocked him back.
Yeah, and then he saw Lulex coming, so didn't want to give over the assist. He probably has Lulex in his fantasy team or something. Decided to just run into the tower.
Wait, wouldn't you want Lulex to get it?
Yeah, actually, that's true.
If he has him on the fantasy team, I mean...
Guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't play much fantasy.
It's okay. It's not for everybody. You got to go back all the way to week 4. We see these guys last minute up. This was actually, well, not actually, it was definitely a big win for H2k and Giants. They want to even that head-to-head.
Right.
Remember, they're still the ones further down the standings. They're far from safe here.
And this game here, in week 4, H2k went their prime when it came to the lane swapping. They swapped on Giants. Giants came late up 3 guys to the lane, ended up losing 2 members, fell super far behind. It was one of the games we highlighted to show how good H2k were. This game here, standard lanes. Pepinero will get a blue buff. This was the one Frederick skipped before, but Giants now get standard lanes, so it should be a lot closer game in that case because H2k does not get that massive early lead from a swap.
I like doing that on junglers that don't require blue buffs, you know, taking that path that you described so well and then just skipping it and then get the level 4 blue buff. It's early enough for it to matter in the lane, and it's early enough so that the second blue buff still spawns within a respectable margin. And we're going to see what happens here. And this is the problem when you win against Alistar, you start pushing them, so Kasing will Q flash, knock Audrey back, and at this point he knows Lulex is there, so he's trying to get to the wall to flash over to the left side, but then he realizes, hey, it's better to save my summoners.
Yeah.
This is honestly not that bad from Audrey, but you can't make that mistake into Alistar.
So the annoying thing, especially for Audrey, was the fact he didn't even have enough gold for pickaxe.
Yeah.
They managed to engage on him. He gets a second Dorns, and then he buys a mana potion. Meanwhile, on the side of Yana, he's gone back. Kalista has this very easy build path in the start. We mentioned how Blade of the Ruined King might be the first item very often now that the AD ratio has gone down a little bit for her. So it's very easy for him, just 800 gold, well, pick up some life steal, and then you have a heal from Alistar as well. You can take a lot of these short trades.
And as it started, really solid for this Giants bot lane. I mean, Audrey going down there really negated a lot of the edge that they had. That Vamp Scepter is going to give the Kalista some serious power here in H2k. They've already built up this small gold lead. It's only 6 minutes in. Lulex is looking to extend that, but he's on a ward.
Oh, this might get turned around in the counter gang. I want to watch how this plays out. Yarn has to flash.
Very quickly. Godfrey now gets knocked back into the tower. He's going to tank a few shots, but Yarnan already a little bit low. Lulex coming around the side. There's a teleport. A flash from Audrey to move away. They've turned their attention to Godfrey. He's surely going to go down as they stack 4 members. H2k get another.
Top lane as well. TP was already used from Whirlip, so he could never join it. Giants were the ones engaging it first, and now this is so annoying for Audrey. Like, poor guy, you just spend your money on a pickaxe. Now there's a fight in the bottom lane. You flash away. He can only afford boots, and he's been back to base twice now.
It was a good flash though, because Lulex went for the body slam, and then at the end of the animation flashed over. Obviously, Audrey said, I know you're going to do that, I will flash out myself, but Odoamna coming in with his signature, let's help the bot lane teleport, and then let my team help me get back into the game type of move. Because at level 6, he will get another teleport for free on that Stand United, so good opening from H2k so far.
And that is why a lot of teams, if there's a TP disadvantage, you try and avoid making a play on the other side of the map.
Yep.
But if you are Giants at the same time, they might have said, okay, Shen is only level 5. If he TPs away, we should be able to get a good lane, at least for the Rise, to give him a bit of an advantage. The problem is you're sacrificing your AD carry, and you got multiple people who needs to scale up. Jinx sitting on these items at this point will do nothing.
I still want to go back to the drafting phase where Giants, they had the Rise to their disposal. They had the Jace. You don't have to pick a low mobility because we're not using the world immobile anymore. Low mobility AD carry on the Jinx that requires these resets to get around these fights. Simply pick a gap closer AD carry. Any will do and just go even in that lane against Kalista. She is a super strong laner, especially with the Alistar. There's no reason to contest that when you can just play chill.
You guys said this in the beginning, that Jinx pick was very questionable. Yes, it has a lot of explosive potential, but it just doesn't seem to be worse so far. The one death there, you've got one death on the side of Godfrey, who had to pretty much sacrifice himself after they were chasing him down. H2k's bot lane, they're the ones getting rolling very quick, and we said that this is what might happen.
Yeah, if you have 3 champions on your team that can turn into dynamite, you might find yourself getting it exploded into your face before you can even use it. That's what's happening to Audrey right now. Look at this, he has 39 to 65. Odoamne gets bullied, but he's used to that. He's still a level ahead of Whirlip, even though he teleported to the bottom.
Goes for the taunt, too. Whirlip, wow, that's a lot of damage coming out from Odoamne, looking to take him on solo for just a minute.
He has the minions in his advantage, too.
Lulex is coming around the side. As long as he buys enough time, doesn't go down, but he might have overstepped his bounds. Odo, not quite dead just yet, and in comes the barrel, knocking Whirlip back into the rest of the minions here. Odoamne looking to finish him off himself, and he takes the kill up in the top lane. Number 2 for Odoamne.
Poor Whirlip, he's fighting 2 against 18 right now. All those minions helping in, and good resource management from Odoamne.
And just the bait.
Yeah, nice bait. 8 out of 8.
Run back, you're like, oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm just gonna taunt him, just gonna keep him again.
Acting.
Beautiful act.
Oscar for Odoamne.
I also want to talk about Rio in the mid lane. The guy is not acting a whole lot normally. This is one of the things about a champion like Ahri, one of these assassins, with the new build path you can take for going like Morel and Nomicon, is the fact you can get that extra tome in the early game before you get Morel and Nomicon. You don't have to go for mana regen, which doesn't really add a whole lot for you in terms of kill pressure. So right now for him, he can be a little bit stronger, smooth out the build path. Gonna get that Morello after, and then we might see Ryu start looking to create some picks, or just swap down to that bottom lane and put Yana in the mid lane.
And that kill on Whirlip is key because this is the point where Shen really shines. He has this mini early game spike. Once he picks up that extra magic resistance and HP, that allows him to just split push better into these magic mid laners. Ryu misses the blue buff. The crowd goes for a collective. Aww.
It is a sad day indeed.
But I just want to touch on that matchup. It's so hard for Whirlip to touch Odoamne right now. He has 2 kills, XP advantage, item advantage, has that Spectre's Cowl, so he can't even trade anymore. And this puts the pressure on H2K's side.
If it's a pure one-on-one, if there's no other players on the map, Whirlip would be fine. The problem is there's multiple other players for H2K, and they will look to go to that top lane if there's a trade going on, because we just saw how Odoamne can taunt him and keep him in place. Then the Gragas can simply join in, as we saw from Lulex before. That was set up way in advance. Now Dragon being started for H2K to have the Shen ulti. TP for Whirlip as well though.
And the objective control from this H2K composition, as Freddy goes choo-choo, is just so good. Because they have so much zoning potential, because you have to walk into a Shen, into an Alistar that has Fate's Call to always be pulled out. You have the Gragas and you have the Ren to execute these Dragons and these Barons, so it'll be incredibly hard for Giants to face check.
But this is such a sneaky Dragon. Notice how the bottom lane for H2K were back in base. They weren't even there to help Lulex. Giants, if they knew this was going on, could have so easily just moved up and stopped him. But because there was no vision in the river, nobody spotted him, and he just sneaked the Dragon for himself completely free.
Giants right now still showing some holes in their play, not realizing that H2K were able to grab that quick Dragon. So all said and done, we're 11 minutes into the game. It's 3 kills to none. That first Dragon in their pockets. They've got themselves almost 2,000 gold ahead. Giants have to act quickly.
But they never usually do. They
Look at
usually
Whirlip
wait
TP.
for... They have to scale up, but Whirlip.
There we go. They found Ryu.
Flash.
3 members in. He's not going anywhere. Whirlip will get a kill back on him. Lulex a little late to the party.
Instant ulti though from Odoamne, but just not enough. 3 members destroying Rio. He didn't realize Whirlip had TP, so he tried to just dash that way out, but then saw it was way too late. Instant mid-tower. Pyro, you just said Giants had to do something. That's a good move.
That's a start. They got a tower on top of it. There we go. Closing that gold gap a little bit at a time.
And if you can do that against a Shen, kill him and make him expend Stand United, or kill his Stand United target rather, then you put yourself at such an advantage, because you take one of his teleports away. One of the pressure points of a Shen is that you can never go for these 2v2 fights, so you need a numbers advantage to burn your target before Stand United lands. Giants, they close the gold gap. 1,000 remains.
There's a TP advantage now for H2K and have a level 6 or 7 Alistar in the bottom lane. If they want to set up a dive against Archery, continue shutting him down. You have the Shen TP as well. And anyway, let's see here. Whirlip, surprise TP on a pink ward, so nobody has spotted him from H2k.
And once Ryu spots Whirlip, he knows he's either going to walk into a targeted snare, so he hopes that Frederick misplays, but obviously right-click, insta-knock-up. Easy game, easy life, and gets the kill. Lulex is now sneaking in. He has to punish Whirlip because he just expended his flash. Obviously, this is a return play right here. Good read, and Odoamne could go in for the taunt right here.
Look at Ryu as well. He's moving up, trying to join his team. Whirlip is out of mana. And
in comes the fat man. There's the barrel. There's the taunt. Whirlip baited right into it, and they do punish that flash. Although it takes him a little while, Odoamne will get kill number 3.
Really good acting again from Odoamne. Any other player could have taunted first and then let Lulex follow up, but he steps back. He gives zone forward for Whirlip to step into. Whirlip takes the bait, walks in close enough for a body slam. And this is the cost of the move that Giants made earlier.
we do see, however, how Giants, they started the game securing vision for this Ryze in the top lane, trying to make sure Whirlip was safe. They completely dropped the ball on that for the last 5-6 minutes. We can see here, ping ward from H2k in their bush here, so it's very easy for Lulex to move in and set up these ganks. Bot lane now, we talked about this TP play you could make, and then going for it on Adri, poor guy.
They are. Odoamne comes on in. The guy is here, he's there, he's everywhere, and he gets kill number 4. Now they're looking to finish off Godfred, who's going to hook his way to a wall. In comes the Fate's Call, dodge away from the Shock Blast. They could finish this tower and let Pepinero walk his way back.
There's been so much talk on Reddit about the current state of being an AD carry. Adri right now might want to go and make another post saying it's not very fun because he's getting absolutely destroyed. And whoa!
Pepinero too, they just chain these CCs like it's no one's business. And Ryu takes out Pepinero with the help of his team.
Yeah, and this goes back to the drafting board. You first pick the Ryze, but you give away Alistar, Kalista, and this is what you were talking about, Deficio. You said, yes, they set up the vision for Ryze, but because their bot lane starts losing this honestly incredibly hard matchup, then they have to shift their attention to the bot side, and this leaves the Ryze exposed. And honestly, Lulex, we were criticizing him a little bit of his play and losses, but so far he's been instrumental for this victory because he's moving to the right places at the right time and getting the ganks off.
I think the fact you have 3 low mobility lanes that can all be easily ganked because of the CC coming from H2k, Shenton, Charm, Alistar, even Fate's Call throwing him in, makes it so easy for Lulex and H2k just to pick targets and so hard for Giants to respond.
Giants, if they want to get away with this composition, they have to play with more respect. Because remember, they're playing double tier composition on a Ryze and a Jace. That's scaling. Low mobility Jinx, as you said. You can do that, but then sacrifice some CS. Play passive. They're not doing that.
And as a result, Adri's found himself down not only those 2 kills, but a whole boatload of CS, 30 difference between Yarnan, who's still showing that Kalista can make some big plays, especially if you've got a strong team right behind her. Meanwhile, Giants, they've sent Whirlip down to the bottom with Godfred, and hope to get the Jinx a little bit of farm in between mid and that bottom lane is actually moving down towards it. Still, there's a lot of H2k members in here. Kasing is going to get that knock-up. Now Whirlip being targeted out. Yarnan, he's got the sword on. In comes the Shen. They're going to try to make this Whirlip taken down. Godfred, Audrey now. Audrey's just completely blown up. Courtesy of Ryu, the Jinx gets set even further behind.
That was such a risky play from Giants. Shen had ulti ready. You're trying to siege up that tower here. You weren't even in a proper position. H2k just sent down everyone. And they have so many ways of engaging onto you. Pepinero, only guy left in the mid lane.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. But fool me twice or 3 times, shame on me for Giants. Ring that bell. Shame, shame, shame. Ping pong Pepinero.
Odo's getting real big on this.
Peppy,
I don't think
run.
Peppy can deal with him. Teleport coming in. Yes, he's going to turn some shock blasts, and now with a Whirlip there, Odo's going to rethink his decisions. But H2k still firmly controlling this one with their moves. Giants reacting, but it just hasn't been enough to close the gap again.
Let's watch that play again here. We see Hyun. He has the liberty to play very far up. Whirlip almost permanently out of mana. Double knockup from Kasing. We still have Fate's Call to pull him back if Yarn needs to peel. Odoamne comes in. Watch Lulex on the left side of your screen. He's just peeling because Ryu is dueling Audrey, and at this point, Jinx just can't get away from this assassin, and I think this is why Ari could actually be a good pick in the scenario, because he has 3 really easy targets to get to, and you said it yourself in champs like Deficio. Nobody can really peel for them. There's no Janna to reset these fights.
And it's just too early for Giants to start grouping up because they are this far behind. They don't even have the proper damage to do it, and no protection. Too easy for H2k to kind of control the map in that sense, and just use either TP or the Stand United from Odoamne. Notice how often he's part of the bot lane. He also picked up 5 kills for himself. He's, by the way, the top laner, or sorry, the player, getting the most kills pre-15 minutes in the entire LCS. This game is helping.
Well, Kasing might be helping even further, but he is pulled back nice and quick. Oh, that was a dangerous check for just a moment, but he's fine.
If you're training a new support and you want to show him the ropes, you know, but be able to help him when he overreaches for steps out of bounds, just like Audrey is doing right now.
There's the chompers. There's the Spirit Rush. Audrey right back to the safety of his team, but not enough. Rio will finish him off. Pepinero gets knocked sideways, and now Godfred's on the run. Sends out the depth charge, but that doesn't have any damage. Godfred is going down. Odo Wamne picks up another kill. 2 for none for H2k.
Kasing has a K and an S, capitalizes his name for a reason. Tried to steal that kill right there with a pulverize. But as I was saying, yeah, if you're training a new support, pick Kalista. Anytime he overreaches, oversteps, pull him back with Fate's Call. This is why Kalista is such a good pick. And honestly, in my opinion, Giants made a mistake picking that Ryze early, trading it for the Alistar and the Kalista.
Again, it's something we've seen from Giants before, where they leave Kalista open and don't first pick it because they want to pick for the solo laners often, Pepinero or Whirlwind, and it's not about archery. So yeah, it is super, super risky, and they've just been punished so hard from the get-go. H2k have done such a good job using the mass amount of CC and engage they're running to always just force these early fights on Giants.
And I just want to highlight 9 of the 10 kills that H2k have came out of the top lane and the bot lane. So Pepinero and Frederick are looking at their teammates. Guys, come on. Just stop feeding.
It's one of those games, isn't it?
Yep.
I had a couple of those myself. So 2 dragons to H2k.
Who are you, by the way, Pyro? The guy feeding or?
Usually the one who's feeding, yeah.
Okay.
I know that feel.
I'll be the one not feeding then.
Oh, well, we can do it next time. Giants, for the moment, they do need to stem this bleeding. They're down those 2 dragons. They're down a whole heaping helping of gold. But the towers have stayed relatively even. For now, H2k have really been more about catching these Giants out. They've been doing a great job of it, but they need to start converting to objectives more than just Drakes.
Remember, we've been in this position before where we've written off Giants and we said, hey, they made mistakes. But then Pepinero is playing a poke champion. At one point, Fnatic overstepped their boundaries. It can all turn very quickly in League of Legends.
However, whenever Pepinero has been able to do that, it's been on the likes of Ezreal, which scales so insanely well into a late game where you just become almost that like single carry, that superhero. I don't feel like the same goes for Jace as much as an AP Ezreal, but yeah, okay.
Don't kill my vibe.
We also have El Bandito as well.
This is very true.
A Baron
there are wild cards on the side of Giants. However, there is a reason, going back to your Jace comment, there is a reason that of the poke champions, Jace is not quite as rocking that ridiculous win rate, the same as like a Varus is, for example. Of course, the Ezra also being very valuable, that double threat even, because both Peppy and Audrey have both played it to good effect. So H2k did well in the draft, I think, and that's definitely helping them out so far this game.
Now, we've hit the 20-minute mark. H2k are now 5,000 gold up ahead. They're about to take another towers to make it 6k. This is where they start looking at controlling the map a little farther up than they have so far, and they want to base themselves around these objectives, these blue buffs, these Barons. Their siege isn't the greatest, but their split push and objective control is.
Especially because Giants will not have any answers to someone like Ryu. He's also gone for Rylai's, the new and lovely item that we're going to see very, very often. So if you are a Jinx or whatever in a side lane, even a Jace, and you get caught by one spell, 40% slow, you're not going to get away. Ryu has so much built in, so many ways of catching you. So H2k can so easily set up the 1-3-1 and just have Lulex and Kasing hold hands, move to the side lane and say, oh, we want to dive that guy? Yeah, let's go kill him.
And they really have been utilizing their sideways extremely well. Giants have done this in some of their games, but H2k have just been the typical masters of it. Now Audrey, there's the catch you're talking about. Finishes him off.
All Rylai's, by the way. That was all Rylai's.
The good thing about Ryle's Kiss Receptor, if you finish it first, hang on, don't flash.
Yep, and they go in for Whirlwind. He gets knocked away and actually has to burn his flash on top of it, but now they are looking for the dive. You said this is what they're able to do. They send the big barrel out to try and get away as Pepinero comes around the side, sends a shock blast, holding the face call. In comes Kasing. They take down the tower, and the real goal was on their mind there. They grab it and they get out.
Unconventional mistake from Kasing. Messes up the combo. Doesn't really matter too much. They still get the tower. To get back on the Rylai's point, if you finish it when you're ahead of your opponents, it's so much more valuable because you sacrifice some raw damage and AP stats, you know, for defensive things like health, but it allows you to duel so much better because you're still on one-shot AP levels, if that makes sense. And this showed right there with Rio, he catches out.
Yeah.
Audrey, super easy.
We just have to remember now, though, with the changes and also all the ones against now with the 100 AP from Rylai's and the fact that Death Cap cost more gold. So if you want to really create a massive amount of tempo, you want to keep spamming out items and keep getting stronger and stronger as fast as possible. Delaying the Death Cap is okay as like a third item for him because again it costs a bit more compared to before. But once Ryu gets that one, because you're 35% AP, it just becomes even stronger. Then you get avoid stuff, and there are not really a whole lot Giants can do to avoid the damage from Ryu.
I really like building more slightly defensive items when you get ahead because it just gives you so much more wiggle room. If you do mess up, if you do overstep your boundaries, building raw AP is nice to get those big crits and or those big numbers of blowing people up, but having a defensive option to just play a little more careless, I really like doing that one. Once you have a gold lead like H2k have over Giants right here, 8,000 gold right now. No Infinity Edge just yet on Audrey.
Gonna look to try and catch Lulix, but he is a very big Gragas. He will get himself out of harm's way, and now the fight is on over the blue buff, or the red buff, I should say. Lulix still throwing the barrel out as Giants mobilize to defend against this one. The Shen pushing up in the top, however. He's got almost 2 teleports available if he needs them.
I really like what Giants is doing here, though. They're saying we're not going to beat you one-on-one 2v2, so if we do get a chance...
Oh, Audrey!
We've seen that before.
Do you still like it?
Yet another.
I didn't like the recall. The other part, though, because Giants know the only way for him to come back in the game is on a 5-on-5 team fight where H2k messes up and like goes super aggressive. There were no ulti for Odoamne in this case here to join in, at least with the Stand United. So that could have been a chance if H2k were greedy. Like, that's what H2k can, Giants can do. Try and group. If H2k gives you the chance, hope that you can punish them in a team fight. But again, it's so difficult.
Good tempered aggression from H2k so far, and this is their style. 1-3-1, Ryu in the side lane, Odoamne the other one. Once they push up, they pincer, they pinch the mid lane, force you off the tower. Because they do this controlled tempered aggression, H2k is now 12 kills ahead to the just 1 from Giants. And 11 of those kills are on 3 people. They're on Whirlip, Audrey, and Godthread.
This game's definitely starting to get out of hand for Giants Gaming. They being pushed every which way. Ryu drawing the attention of 3 Giants, sends a charm out, lands it onto Frederick. Now, meanwhile, waiting in the wings, spotted by the ward as they clear it away. Yarn and Kasing.
Just wait for
the squad.
Wait for the pressure in the top lane. Once Shen sees 2 people defending him, because nobody can 1v1 him, he'll just look for the dive. HK opt to not do that this time though, because they just want to get their objective secure. They say, okay, 3rd dragon, let's take it slow. We just control this game out. They might go for another play on inhibitor tower if they find that a little bit too hard. They can take up a pretty much free Baron right now.
Yeah, I mean, H2k, once you get so far ahead, the shotgun becomes very, very simple. It's like, what do you want to do? Oh, we can do everything.
Anything
so like,
you want.
Let's go beta Baron, fine, that's perfect. That's 1-3-1. And if Adri stays to defend against the Shen, it's so easy for H2k just to dive the opposite side of the map and just have the Shen stand united, being like, we don't care that Adri gets a few waves. We're going to take the tower and a few kills for them. So H2k setting up for another potential play with Kasing, and Ryu, of course, just being so, so strong.
Continuing to push down on that bottom side. Whirlip trying to defend against both Lulix and Ryu. Gotta be careful though. That charm was a flying. So, still keeping to this bottom side of the map, but easily picked up their Dragon for H2k, gives them even more mobility. And it's gonna be even harder now for Giants to try and defend against this push. What can they really do to get themselves back into this game? That's the question.
Yeah, Infinity Edge finished at around 24 minutes into the game. Facing off against Later the Runic King, Rudans. The build we expect to see more now that Kalista is nerfed a little bit. On-hit effects, obviously, still scale very well, but just raw AD doesn't help you all that much. And Yarn could go for a fight here. If he gets a Stand United on his back, he could go in and start triple procking those board procs and taking down the enemy team. However, Odoamne
He's about to do tons of damage, I would say. With all that gold he's saved up, able to pick up his Trinity Force, and that's not something I expected to say today.
Well, I mean, it's
a conventional Shen build.
Yeah, it's great if you are a split pusher anyway and you have such a good start for the one-on-one. Also for potential tower pushing, which will happen for Odoamne.
He did get that big.
However, I agree with Pyra. I wasn't expecting to see it at 25 minutes. Sunfire Cape, Spectre Scout, and a Triforce finished already. That's gonna be, yeah, tons of damage. And Death Cap.
Yeah.
Let's see how much AP he actually has.
528 AP. 26 minutes in. Adric currently sits on 1500 HP. One-on-one, please.
We're getting to about that time where both these teams start eyeballing the Baron, but as you guys mentioned a bit earlier, at this point for H2k, it might just be free if they can secure themselves some vision. Still sending Odoamne on the bottom side. Whirlip's there to defend. You can see the rest of Giants aren't keen on letting this go quite so easily. Still not pushing up too far, and the Baron is started by H2k.
Just a simple play. You have the vision control around it. You have the rise in vision. You know if he's going to TP in. Remember, H2k is the one starting the fight, so they can always TP first.
Odoamne got stopped.
Ooh, almost got to safety, but not in time. One down. They go back to it again.
That was one snare. Whirlip walked up and stopped Odoamne, but obviously it wasn't enough. H2k can comfortably handle that 4v4. They should just rotate in the mid lane, start pushing up and repeat the play. Odoamne is just keeping Whirlip busy right now. Now he knows that he's actually aware Rises a snare. Let's not teleport in full vision.
All the same, we're still able to get one for none. Got to be careful to dodge those Peppy shock blasts. One of them did take a big bite out of Yarnen's HP, and the Fate's Call sending it onto Frederick. They should be able to take him down here, pinning, balling him around as Ryu takes a 7th kill. Audrey hiding in the bush, it'll all happen.
Yeah, Yarnen saying, Alistair, I choose you. Going in, Ryu is just zoning Audrey. Every time he's even close, Audrey has to step back because he's so afraid of getting his 7th death this game. And this Baron will go uncontested right here.
And again, it's just so tough for Giants. I mean, you gotta try and do something to stop this Baron, but you just keep face-checking into charms and so on. There's so many ways for them to start fights.
So many ways indeed. Now that they've picked up the Baron, they can go full hog wild onto Godfred, on to Werlib, looking now for Audrey. Ryu Spirit rushes his way over, and Audrey never stood a chance. Frederick and Peppy, the only ones up at the moment to try and keep H2k away from this base. They're in no position to do it just yet, though.
0 dragons, 2 towers, 1 kill. We said if Giants can win this game, they can challenge H2k for 3rd, but
they may not be able to
honestly couldn't be bigger today.
Very apparent as H2k march towards inhibitor number 1. They've cracked the base open. Odo goes in, taunts onto Frederick. They got kills on their mind as they take the objectives as dessert at this point. Ryu chugging away on this top side. They'll turn their attention that way. Every member of Giants is back up. H2k might have to back away for a short time, but they'll be back and in greater number.
And they got super minions coming as well. Once they return to the base, don't need a 4th dragon unless you want to play it very, very safe when you are H2k. And yeah, at this point, I mean, what a fantastic game from them. Very clear game plan from the start. Bot lane and top lane were easy targets to game. We see the Baron again. Giants trying to stop it. But here for H2k, again, there's so many ways of just diving onto them, and they're just that far ahead. And Audrey, of course.
And it doesn't matter what you do when you're this far ahead, because you can even make slight mistakes, misplays. Lulex went for the body slam flash, didn't connect with Peppy. Tried to knock him in, but yeah, knock him out of the fight. The remaining members will easily win this fight or in this skirmish. And now, Giants, desperate times, call for very, very desperate measures.
Putting the death brush, Lulex wanders.
They can't even kill him.
Close.
They need to go for Killista.
They are going to go for Yarnen, and he will go down, loses that Baron buff. That's the start of something as Lulex throws a big barrel on himself. Charm not going to land, but H2k should be able to get out of here. A slow march, though. Go for the knockup. Look for Lulex. Into Rune Prison he goes. They will get 2 here. This could be the start of something.
Giants just tripled their kill count in that fight.
I really like the play, though. Again, for Giants, they're trying to do what they can. They're like, okay, we expect you to go for this dragon, because they're going to stop the recalls, because Odon is still pushing. 2 guys are going to stop them, though. So very well played from Giants. Peppy, though.
Yep, goes to the skies and goes back to Fountain. Ryu with yet another kill. A double onto Audrey, his 10th of the game. This guy is unstoppable.
And we're back looking at Odon. He didn't leave. He's lane, there's no reason to. H2k. I mean, you got super minions. You want that last inhibitor, or second last inhibitor. Secure that one for yourself. You really want that dragon, go get it now. Otherwise, just leave it. You don't have to pick it up.
And Odoamne actually never finished that Spectre's Cow. He says, okay, a base amount of magic resistance is all I need, and then I will spec full armor. Because Jace, Jinx, and Rek'Sai mostly all attack damage based, and he even picks up a Thornmail with the Triforce. I doubt if there's any combination of 2 members on Giants that can even duel him at this point, to the point where they can kill him in a timely fashion.
Yeah, where H2k won't be able to do something
like kill the next
on the map. Yeah, as an example, maybe this dragon. Oh,
doesn't hit the dragon. Yeah. So it looks pretty, but it doesn't connect with dragons or any neutral monsters. You have to connect it on a champion and then have the splash AoE for the steal.
It's a Hail Mary in any case, and Giants at this point are going to need several of those to get back into this one. 3-19, the gold gap has just been oh so wide for a long time now, and they struggle to just defend the most basic things. 2 inhibitors down, one in the mid, one in the top side. H2k looking to lock this one out, make it nice in round 3.
And we talked about this composition from H2k, very dive heavy, and this shows in the way Kasing is itemizing. He goes for the Righteous Glory, even though it was nerfed. Then he goes for the Talisman second, because all he needs to do is speed up his team, connect the CC, Taunt Flash from Odoamne, combo Charm Flash, Body Slam Flash, all these offensive dives. Just one of them needs to connect, and these super squishy targets on Giants will just melt.
It just feels like so many things we looked at in champs, like being like, oh, this can be super risky, this comp can really dive so effectively. It's what decided the game for H2k. Giants will have to go back and look at that big ban phase, and then They might die as well.
If they even have a chance, down goes Werlib. Another pickoff. They take down. This time it's Frederick looking for Audrey. He never has a chance again. A big one from Ryu as Odo comes around the side. Godfred all by himself gets him a triple, and Peppy has just given up on Fountain. This game is all over. 32 minutes in, and all they need to do is polish it off.
Such a strong performance. Oh, look at
Oh, charm flash!
Got the charm. Peppy, no! All the way out. There's the ace. It cost him a cow, but they don't mind. Nexus turrets being fired down. H2k, 33 minutes into this game, will secure themselves a win and sole possession of that third place. Top 3 for this team.
And it's not about the cow, it's about the message. When you're at this point, right before playoffs, it is often good enough to sacrifice a couple of key members to just send that message to Pepinero. You are staying in 4th place. We're fighting for that bye. And H2k one step closer now towards Origin.
Yeah, and you just mentioned how Giants will stay in 4th place. It's so scary for them because there's so many teams around them in the standings trying to take that number 4 place. Playoff isn't even locked in for them yet. We have like Elements, Gambit, Rock, and so on. They're all trying to overtake Giants. And this loss here could turn out to be super important.
Yeah, if you're watching at home and you missed the opening of the show, go to LO Esports, check out our standings because it is close. 1 or 2 wins, 1 slip up at the end of the season could mean happiness or complete stacked tears for some of these teams. And then this is the point of the season where they look back and they go like, that one game. If we didn't let Frederick steal that Byron twice.
10,000 gold lead, wasn't it?
It all comes down to these little things, and you can see Giants mulling this one over. They didn't really have much of a chance this game, though. I mean, you just have to flat out say it. They got stomped.
But this is it. At the same time, yes, it was a